my gosh, I'm so sorry. Sorry guys, I see it. Sound's working now. So sorry. I muted myself by accident. I'll restart, don't worry. Meteorologists just repeat themselves a lot, so I'm gonna do it again. Sorry guys. I hope everyone can hear me now. I'm glad you guys really want to hear me talk about the snow though. That's great. Okay, so this is what it's looking like on our radar right now. Again, heavier pockets near Hamilton, Fayette, Union County there. Another section of those heavier pockets, you can see that starting to move up towards the north and east there. And those heavier pockets again near Hillsborough area starting to fill in as well towards Wilmington. If we zoom out a little bit more and head over towards the west in Indiana, Illinois, you can see these really darker blue areas here. And again, that's a heavier snowfall, and it's all tracking its way towards Cincinnati. You can see the motion of this storm when it restarts is heading towards the northeast. So it's heading towards Cincinnati, and we'll start to see those heavier pockets here in the next several hours. But again, this stretches for over 1,000 miles, this winter storm does, and you can just see, again, those darker blue colors still making their way in, and we'll continue to see all of that move its way in there. You can see in Kentucky here we do have this gap where the snow really isn't coming down. It's just a lot of dry air. You see that area with that mix, that wintry mix, that sleet possible as well. But let's get into the forecast. We do have a winter storm warning here. 10 to 16 inches of snow is possible. Again, that snow is right now, and it's going to continue through late Sunday. Again, it's going to really impact your travel plans. So just be aware that tomorrow you really shouldn't be getting on the roads at all. By midnight, 1 to 3 inches are possible. We're leaning more closely to the 1 to 2 inches at this point. We're having a really slow start to this session. And so this is the first section of 3 for this snow forecast for this winter storm. And again, we're having a really slow start. So by midnight, we're leaning closer to about 1 inch. But we could see up to 3 inches, especially as things start to pick up here. By the time you wake up tomorrow morning, this is Sunday, 6 a.m., 5 to 9 inches is possible. So we'll basically double what we're seeing tonight, even triple in some places, going into Sunday early morning. By the time we reach Sunday evening, you could have 10 to 16 inches possible across the tri-state. So that's what we're looking out for here. Again, we do have a really big jump in the next 24 hours. We're talking about a 12-hour jump to see a foot of snow. And so this is what we're watching out for, a pretty huge amount of snowfall. And again, I showed you guys this earlier. I'll draw on it once again. This measuring tool, if we start over in New Mexico and draw the line all the way into Pennsylvania there to how long this winter storm is, over 1,500 miles. And so it's a really massive storm affecting millions of people. And so we're just being very cautious in telling you guys, again, any travel plans, anything like that, it's going to be very difficult to do any of that as of right now. Even going into the next couple of days, here's the problem. Let me break it down what the problem is about. I see the what about ice. We're not expecting a lot of ice here, nothing that's going to be substantial amount to cause any trouble, mostly just dealing with the snow. Now, if you're south of the Ohio River, northern Kentucky area, you could see some sleet, but overall the ice is going to be southern Kentucky, Tennessee, Alabama, Georgia. That's where most of that ice is going to be, and you can see that here as well, where they're starting to see that sleet action. But again, here, seeing snow coming down right now. This is what it's looking like, heavier snow pockets in our northern counties right now and in our southern counties. And then we can see the heavier snow near I-64, crossing over I-69 there as it's making its way into the Cincinnati area. So we're seeing heavier snow, and again, 1,500 miles of snow is coming down right now. So impacting most major cities across the U.S. And here is our snowfall forecast. 10 to 13 inches up in our more northern counties, 13 to 16 inches in this Cincinnati metro area down the middle of our viewing area. Down to the south, totals might taper a little bit, be a little bit, it won't be as high if we see more sleet. The more sleet you see, the less snow you'll see. So that's something we're watching out for. It just depends on where that thaw freeze line is as this continues to move forward. I see the comment here about, are we going to lose power? You're more likely to lose power if you are seeing more of that ice, which we're not going to see a lot of ice, but we are seeing a pretty significant amount of snowfall, and so that could also damage some power lines and even cause some power outages, but it's not going to be widespread power outages like they're seeing in Tennessee and Kentucky. Okay, so let's go into, we are going to get into tracking it. I was getting through the nowcasting right now, seeing what we're seeing. Here's what the roads look like for everybody that wants to see. I did go through timing for those of you who weren't on here. Again, 1 to 3 inches by midnight. Here's what it's looking like outside right now. Snow still coming down, 12 degrees, feeling more like -3, but you can see the snow, that light layer of snow there covering the roadways. Ice and that salt that's on, they put on the road, the salt and the chemicals in salt don't activate when it's below 16 degrees. So it's so cold outside that the salt on the roads isn't going to work. And so that's something we're concerned with those, with this amount of snow we're going to be seeing here moving forward. Hopefully the plowers get out here early and help a lot of this move on a little bit faster. Here's another timeline for you guys. I know I showed one earlier. We'll show a different one here as soon as it loads. Again, 1 to 3 inches on the ground for tonight. Going into tomorrow morning when you wake up, 5 to 9 inches will be on the ground. And then as you move into Sunday, 10 to 16 inches will be on the ground by the evening hours. The roads are going to stay covered through Monday. The Arctic air will stay with us, and those travel issues will linger into the next couple of days. So that is something, I see that in the comments here about the slick roads. The roads are going to stay slick from now until all of the snow clears out, which could be a little while, especially as we move into the next couple of days. We're going to stay really cold, so it's going to be really hard for this snow to melt here. Thank you, Lori. Actually, my papa does my hair. He's my hairdresser. He's always been my hairdresser. I've never had my hair cut by anyone but my papa, so I owe him everything for my hair. Okay, so Michael, I see your comment here about this. Is there a chance the sleet does not even happen for north of the Ohio River? Yeah, we're not expecting sleet at all for north of the Ohio River. South of the Ohio River is only where we're expecting that sleet to come down. Let's get into the futurecast. I'll show you that here so we can make it through our timeline here. Just takes a second to load. Okay, so as we move into 1 a.m., 2 a.m., this is when that heavier snow starts to move into the area, and you can see those heavier pockets, that darker blue colors start to come in. It's kind of hard to see, but definitely seeing those darker blue colors moving into the area by the early morning hours. This is why we get that really big increase. Again, that wintry mix down to the south, and you can see those pinks starting to take over those south of Ohio River. That's where we could see more of that sleet. I did bring up this graphic. I brought up this earlier. Freezing rain is more like a glaze on a donut, and we talked about that that's going to be mostly down in the south, Tennessee, Alabama, Georgia. And then as we move into the territory of south of the Ohio River, that's when you could see sleet. Sleet are going to be like the sprinkles on a donut. They're more like little balls of ice, kind of like a hailstone, but softer than that. There won't be as much ice. There'll be like a mix. But yes, so this is what we're dealing with. Again, it's going to be pretty cold over the next couple of days, and that's going to be the problem with getting rid of this snow. So we're going to kind of be stuck with it here. Moving forward, again, here's those snowfall totals for you. Reduced amounts south of the Ohio River, again, due to seeing some sleet. So if you see that sleet down to the south, that's going to reduce your snowfall totals. Hi, David. We're not seeing any ice. We're not going to be dealing with ice. We're dealing with sleet and we're dealing with snow. The ice is going to stay mostly down to the south in Tennessee, Alabama, Georgia area. Jake, we would love to see a picture of your sleet if you could send that in. Will I be okay driving from Gatlinburg to Cincinnati Monday? Well, Tennessee's seeing a lot of ice, so I do think that would be really tricky. I would probably recommend not doing that, but if you drive really carefully, you could make it for sure. It's just going to be icy and snowy, and it's going to be a long drive back. Okay, so that's all we have for right now, guys. I'm not concerned with power outages at this time. Again, we're not, especially not through tonight. Tomorrow would be a bigger concern for power outages just based on the snow fall, but the ice would be the main concern with power outages. But the amount of snow we'll see by the end of Sunday, that's why we would see any power outages at all, because we see those higher snowfall totals and that could affect some of the power lines. But mostly that would be a concern with the ice, and we don't have a lot of ice forecasted in this area. Again, 1 to 3 inches by midnight tonight, 5 to 9 by the time you wake up tomorrow morning. And then as we move into Sunday evening, heavier snow will continue, and you'll see between 10 and 16 inches of snow. What would you consider? Yeah, we're expecting between 10 and 16 inches there. The sleet is definitely staying south of the Ohio River. Yes, we are doing these live streams every 30 minutes, and we're so every 30. So we did at 9:30, at 8:30. So you'll see us on there every 30, bottom of the hour, and then every hour moving forward, we're going to be live on Fox 19's on TV, on YouTube, on the streaming apps. You can find us anywhere, so you will be completely updated until Monday morning. Every hour on TV, and then every bottom of the hour on Facebook and on YouTube. So you'll definitely have us on there. Hey, Ella. Sorry, that's my sister. Yes, 13 to 16 inches, Michael, would definitely be what we're forecasting around for West Union, especially the sleet staying south of the Ohio River. And again, keeping you guys updated, top and bottom of the hour. Top of the hours are on Fox 19, bottom of the hours are on YouTube and Facebook. That's all I have for this forecast update. Again, we're starting the newscast here at 10, going until midnight, so go check out Fox 19 on TV, and you'll see all of those updates for you there. Stay safe, and I'll see you guys very soon.